Hi, I'm Steve from Houndstooth Miniature Painting, and we're going to work on some Battletech and just chat about whatever, but not necessarily, preferably not painting. This is my first stream, not from any break, because actually my schedule is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm a little bit late today because I fell asleep, but I fell asleep 20 minutes before stream. However, a couple things I wanted to say. One, stream's changing a little bit. I'm cutting my hours to Thursday and Fridays, so I will not stream anymore on Mondays and Tuesdays. Number two, I will no longer really be doing teaching content, so you know, if you're looking to learn how to paint, this is not the place to be. I am not interested in doing that anymore. Mostly just because, you know what, streaming for me is supposed to be fun, and it really hasn't been in a while, and teaching's kind of become one of the reasons why. So I'm not going to do it. And let's see, what else? I'm going to I am a commission painter, but I'm going to start moving away from doing my commissions on camera. I am gonna mostly be doing the commissions off cam, and then focus on doing sort of experiments and personal projects on cam on Thursdays and Fridays. That's where we're at. All right, this is my second of 8 Battletech minis. I think I'm just going to do them one at a time, rather than try to batch paint them. Let's see what happens here. So let's show the first one. Here's the first one. Well done. I'm pretty happy with it. It's okay. Basically a basic tabletop mini. I kind of priced it out in between. This is my first time doing Battletech, so I didn't really know how long it was going to take. My goal is to take a lot less time on the other ones, because that took a lot longer than I expected, so hopefully it won't take as long for each subsequent model. Alright, let's get started. Before anything, I think I would just like to get to some of the dark lining. I can't tell how loud or how quiet the music is. My headphones are kind of semi-broken right now. The headphone cable. I gotta get a new one. It's a modular cable, so. Hey, what's up, Dead Zone? How are ya? What's new with you? Oh, the other thing is no more giveaways. Or I wouldn't say no more, because there's a few outstanding ones that I owe that we're going to still do. But there aren't going to be as many as there used to be. Tired due to stuff at work, but we'll slow down again soon. Oh, good. I hope it slows down. No, I crashed out. I got an email from somebody, and it semi-set me off, like, right before I was supposed to start streaming. And I was just like, I'm gonna go to my bed and lie down. Now, I don't know about any of you, but, like, if I go to my bed and lie down, the chance that I'm getting right up again is not high. And it was 20 minutes to when I was supposed to start streaming, and then I went to my bed and laid down. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is wrong with people, but one of the things that keeps happening is people that want to talk to me about a commission and don't really know what models they're looking to get painted, or don't understand what models they have, or or in this case, like basically need help list building. That's one thing that's been happening a lot. It's like, listen, I just paint the models you point me at. If you want me to paint models, I'd be happy to paint models, but I'm not your list doctor. I'm not here to explain to you how to play the game. It's not in my professional description as a commission painter. Frankly, if I have to tell you what's in the box of minis that you gave me, that's kind of a problem. But gentler topics, brighter subjects. Hey, Yield Nerd! Hey, what's going on? Funny thing about Cranky Old Nerd is I'm both older and crankier. Hi, I'm doing okay. How are you doing? Had a cold or something for 2 days, bleh. Otherwise, I can't complain. Oh, that sucks. Make sure it wasn't allergies. I know you've heard my story by now. It's been like the better part of 2 years periodically thinking I was getting a cold when really I was just dealing with allergies. People were like, you got a cold again? Like, yeah, isn't that weird? Yeah, it was weird, because it wasn't real. You're on Zyrtec, so hopefully not allergies. Good. At least you have it covered. Alright, working on painting this thing up. We're starting with black lining. Dark lining, I should say. I'm using a dark brown. What's new? What else is new with you, Cranky Old Nerd, besides being sick? Anything? Hey, Dave's Mini Art, how are ya? Oops. Rush ever. What up, Dave? Just being boring. You're just being boring? I don't believe that. I'm being boring. I'm not boring, you're boring! I mean, you're not boring, I'm boring. good. Just got home from the gym. Cool. Man, I gotta start going to the gym again. Eventually. I'd love to get back on the rowing machine. Your camera is doing weird shit. Can you be more specific, please? Is it my camera that's doing the weird shit? Or is it the video feed that's doing weird shit? And what kind of weird shit? It fades to white. It fades to white where? I don't understand. Okay, hold on. Let me take a look on Twitch. Is it just the camera, or is it the entire video feed, including? Yeah, this is something that when you have problems like this, guys, you got to use your words, because, you know. It doesn't help to just be like weird shit. Hold on, I see something weird going on. What is that? What is... hold on, I see something weird going on. What is that? What is... hold on, I see something weird going on. What is that? Well, that's better. What is... hold on, I see something weird going on. What is that? Is anybody else seeing anything? I know, I switched to Twitch. It looks fine now. There's been some Technicolor shit that happens on Twitch. I might just stop streaming to Twitch altogether. And just do Mixer and DLive and YouTube. Which is the one that seems to be having the most problems, technically. But we'll hold on to that for later. If it's acting up, we'll do that. For now, we'll leave it on, since most people come from there. If anybody is a part of my Patreon and hasn't edited their pledges yet, make sure you do that. You only have a few days until the 1st. Make sure you edit your pledges if you were in a Tier 3 or Tier 4 pledge. Okay. It just pixelated? Yeah. Alright, cool. Thanks for letting me know. There isn't too much to be done about that right now. Let me double check and make sure that I am at the right bitrate. I dropped the bitrate to 3500, yeah. That should usually be taking care of it, but it might not. Hey, Hop Hop, what's going on? Just chilling, converted 2 Space Marines tonight. 2 pretty cool Black Templar dudes. Impulse built, you know. That's cool. Impulse builds? Damn, that sounds fun. I was trying to look around earlier. I was like, what the hell can I work on tonight that isn't gonna bore me to tears? And I came up with this. I was like, oh, I can still work on those Battletech dudes. Kevin Bonnie! Thank you for the follow. Ba 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 ba. That's nice. Thank you. So, I don't know what we're gonna wind up doing tomorrow. Might work on some Black Fortress escalation, but I want to move away from doing any commissions on stream. Actually, I should take that Art Commissions tag off. Possible to get a link. Mate. Yes. Hold on. Definitely. Is it because Twitch changed something? It might be because Twitch changed something. It's not letting me do it easily anymore. Oh, it doesn't think I'm a mod or something. I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Permit. There you go. Two dudes you did tonight. Hold on, let me move this so I can. Nothing like that. Oh, I see why. Let's try that. Get where my hands are more comfortable. Two dudes you did tonight. That's funny, actually, just taken out of context. But alright. Cool. on. Back to me. There we go. Okay. Has anybody updated any of, if anybody has any iOS devices, have been re-updated to iOS 13 yet? I just updated my iPad. And I updated my phone like yesterday. Haven't really noticed anything major. I mean, I've sort of noticed some little changes and stuff that I haven't really delved into. Mm-hmm. 13.1, yeah, no issues. I got 13, kills my battery, but damn that dark mode, yeah. I love people using LOL. It's Dutch. What? Oh, is it? Is it Dutch? Really? But it's I don't know where it came from, but it's the name of the dude. I mean, well, not the dude. It's the name of the emote. I love the new CarPlay. Really makes it work nice. Oh, really? I don't know anything about that. I haven't tried to link my phone to my car. I totally could. Alright, onto the head. Hey, J-Crowd, how are you doing? We're gonna be Thursdays and Fridays only now. Maybe only Fridays, but for now I said Thursdays and Fridays. you know, I have to look at some more Battletech references, because, you know, it's funny, when I think of in my head Battletech models, or you know, bots, whatever you want to call them, I usually do picture them being largely monotone, but it's funny, like, the reference image he sent me, it didn't have, like, a lot of areas that were painted black or metallic. We're gonna add some. He also asked me to put some, like, oil around the metal parts, which is kind of... I can try it. I don't really know if it's gonna look like anything at this scale. I haven't really painted any parts as actually metallic yet. This was the one that I did last time. Fisher King, how you doing? Little Wayne is a Packers fan. What? I don't know. Wait, Little Wayne. Yeah, I don't know anything about Little Wayne. Wait. Oh, Wait, I get confused between Little Wayne and... Oh yeah, okay, I know who Little Wayne is. For a second I was getting confused. Who's the other dude? Little something. No, Little John. Oh wait, I'm getting confused. I was thinking of Little Wayne. The little guy with the face tattoos. And like the sharpened teeth. Then for a second I was thinking Little John. I was like, wait, no, not Little John. Well, not everybody can be perfect. Not a Patriots fan, eh? Cutting Antonio Brown was a great idea, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because we're gonna win the Super Bowl again this year. With or without Antonio Brown. Well, without, but it didn't matter. It was gonna happen. It will happen again. Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know if we're gonna win the Super Bowl this year, but we're gonna be in the Super Bowl. We might lose it, but we're gonna be there. That's my prediction. The lines are mesmerizing. Oh, really, Meat Buddy? Well, I'm glad you find them mesmerizing. Mesmerizing is what we focus on here. Alright, so... I find it visually stimulating. Like, they have that whole thing, visual ASMR. Honestly, the idea sounds crazy to me. I'm like, what the hell is visual ASMR? I mean, ASMR is something that causes an autonomic response that gives you tingly feelings. Visual ASMR is, in theory, something visual that causes the same thing, but I'm not sure I believe that that even exists. It sounds like a made-up thing. Alright, we're going to be done with these lines in a little bit. Houndstooth, I read your Patreon email where I disagree with most of it. I believe burnout is real, so I will count my blessings that I have your channel to watch twice a week. I read your You disagree with most of it? What do you disagree with? You disagree with most of everything, don't you? How can you disagree with it? I mean, how's that even possible? Isn't it mostly my opinions? I mean, I guess you can disagree with my opinions. But it's not even my opinions, it's like my feelings on things. Like, I don't like something. I disagree. Wait, how can you disagree that I don't like it? Who's Khan? Oh, Kong, cranky old nerd. The whole pic just pixelated again for a second. Okay. Is any... You will message me. Oh, I know. Okay, I know what you disagree with. Never mind, I figured it out. Now I remember that part. I got it. I forgot about that part in there. Hey, what's up, Sato? J-Crud, I want to talk to you about, contrast paints, too. I'm thinking about pulling the trigger, but... Actually, I was thinking about pulling the trigger, but the big project... Well, not big project, actually a really small project that I was thinking about using them on, I don't know if it's going to happen, so I don't know if I really care anymore. But I was thinking about picking up contrast paints because I was thinking about seeing if I could use them to really speed up basic tabletop level jobs. Somebody wanted me to do a basic tabletop level Untamed Beasts, and I was like, okay, well, I know lots of the peoples on Instagram have been painting Untamed Beasts with the contrast paints and making them look, you know, not horrible. So, not good, but not horrible. So I would be down for that, I guess, but I don't know, they're kind of expensive too. They're you know, who am I kidding? They're super freaking expensive. The contrast paints are ludicrous. Battletech, hey, what's up, Dracian? Yeah, well, it's not every day that you see Battletech. It's not every day that somebody contacts me and is like, hey, I have Battletech. You want to paint it? Like, sure. Never painted it before, you know that, right? Like, yeah, that's cool. Pop my Battletech cherry. Alright, almost done with this dark lining. Count your stars and garters. No, it is not every day you see Battletech. This is true. Packers versus Eagles about to begin. Nice. Thursday night football. Are you ready for some football? How's the music volume, guys? The background music? Is it too quiet, too loud? One of my headphones, the cable's busted, and I can only hear out of one ear, and it sounds super quiet, but I'm also hearing it out of only one ear. Ooh, that's a fine question, Dave's Mini Art, with a very easy answer. I use a lining brush. I'm using this 2.0 lining brush. Rigger, liner, whatever you want to call it. This is a liner. I mean, if they're, as far as I know, they're the same thing. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm using a lining brush. This one in particular is a Rosemary & Company Series 44. Series 44 is their Kolinsky liners. So this is another Kolinsky brush, just like, oh, by the way, for anybody that does not know, Broken Toad is making brushes again. Or will be very soon. So when you start to paint, do you prime first? If so, spray primer? I don't think I've seen you prime before. I don't prime on stream most of the time, but I do sometimes. I think I did it the other day. If I can avoid priming on stream, I do, but what do I do? What was your question? Do I prime first? Yes, I prime first. So this one was primed with black, gray, and white in zenithal priming. So I primed the whole thing black, then I sprayed it gray, then I sprayed it white. Then I came back with this dark kind of black-brown tone and sprayed it from below. Then I sprayed another, and I use an airbrush. I don't use rattle cans for anything. Great news! I know it was a lining brush. Should have asked what company. Oh, well, okay. I love that brush. How do you know about Broken Toad? Newsletter? They sent me an email. Or Is that right? Or no, maybe I just saw it on Facebook. Actually, honestly, I don't know. Either I got an email, but I don't know how I would have because I've never been a customer of theirs. I think I saw it on Facebook. Broken Token? Broken Token is a different company. Does Broken Token sell Broken Toad? Or are they related? That would be news to me. I am painting my Untamed Beast using contrast paints. Oh, cool. You meant Broken Token. Yeah, Broken Token is actually a company, though, as if you probably know. Broken Token is a company that makes a lot of like MDF box inserts for board games to keep them organized. Is it right? Broken Token? No. Am I getting something wrong? Something Token? Maybe it's not broken? I'm not sure what I'm saying. Yeah, game inserts. The colors out on my palette. I'm about to start painting. Oh, I know what color I need. I forgot. I need Flat Earth. I used a lot of Flat Earth on the other one. Not that one. Who knows is old enough to remember whose theme song that was. I don't think they even use it anymore. Plus it was in the movie Twilight Zone, the 80s Twilight Zone movie. It was in the beginning, the scary beginning with Dan Aykroyd. Oh, was it? Wait, was it? Yeah. Snakebite leather contrast is sold out everywhere, including my distributor. Whoa. Do you have it? You don't have it either? I thought you bought 6 of everything. Wanted some two-tone panels with this darker brown. I'm trying to figure out where to put it. It's actually not really a darker brown, it's a richer brown. A little bit of both. Yes, that is correct. I actually believe J-Crowd is correct, but I could be... Yeah, it was... But then again, I may not have been doing it correctly, so it might have sounded more like Wild World of Sport... Wide World... But Wide World of Sports, was that National Geographic's Wide World of Sports? So, aren't you both right? Because isn't it the same? But I don't know. I meant to be doing National Geographic theme. Oh, you don't have it either? Damn. Right here first. J-Crowd actually doesn't have something. Because J-Crowd of Peninsula Games 775, River Road, Fairhaven, New Jersey, has an impressive selection of products for all of your needs. Goofing. It's a great shop. I really enjoy it. All right, we got that panel down. How about over here? Two-tone, like that two-tone brown. Let's do this one too. Hey, Ravencat, good morning, how are ya? From the land of the rising sun. It was fun, I got to hang out with Dino in voice chat the other day, just during the day. He was just like, hey, I'm in the MMOMP voice chat. I was like, cool, I'll come hang out. Actually kind of fun right now. Our crew that's been hanging out lately, we've got quite a few cool international folks. We've got Dino hanging out from Germany. He's not even from Germany himself originally. We got Ravencat hanging out in Japan, not originally from Japan. We have Dr. Arcade Fire TV from Qatar. I don't know where he's originally from. We got Hot Pot from Denmark. We have Palooka Paints coming in from time to time from the great land of Peru, and we have our friend Raz coming in from Malaysia. Occasionally, not today. Found on YouTube, Nat Geo. Doing well, waiting for my class to start. Finished Weathering and X-Wing and almost done with a U-Wing. Cool! Which class? Are you teaching English or something? What class are we talking about here? Alright, let's start with doing some edge highlighting. Cool! Oh, you're a high school teacher. Nice. Wow, that's cool. But you know what my favorite anime / manga is? It's super old now. I don't even know if people know about it because these things fall out of favor so quickly. Someday it'll be considered a classic, but it's like it was already considered an early classic, but I think someday maybe eventually be considered a long-time classic. GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka, was my favorite manga. I was reading it in the early 2000s, and I was watching that anime that came out. So good. I loved that show. Did you ever watch it, or hear of it, or read it? It was great. So it was about a guy, Onizuka, who was a former motorcycle gang member. I think even leader. I use that as a bit of a handbook on how to teach in Japanese schools. Nice. He was a former motorcycle gang leader who decided he wanted to be a high school teacher. And it's like one of those type of stories where he's the best and worst at his job, but he's kind of the best at his job because he's the worst at his job. He gets a job at a semi-prestigious school. He lives there. Upstairs. He's not a super wholesome dude, but he does care about the kids a lot. He's always trying to encourage them and help them out of their problems. It's super funny. Yeah, GTO is a pretty rad comic. Yeah, I played a little bit of Warcry on Thursday night. I got 2 games in, I won 1, lost 1. It was interesting. I'm starting to get more of the scenarios as I play more. I'm starting to get more of those scenarios coming up where clearly one side has a huge advantage. Sort of on the plus side, if you're willing to accept it, is that it does seem to happen, if you play enough games pretty evenly, where you're just as likely to get a scenario where you're screwed as your opponent is to get one where they're screwed, so I still think that that's a kind of problematic game design flaw, but it's interesting. Still, bottom line is it was still pretty fun. As opposed to back when I used to play 40k, I didn't like getting scenarios where it was unbeatable from the beginning. Even these ones that are a little bit sort of unbeatable from the beginning in terms of scenarios, they tend to be not completely unbeatable. They just tend to be a very uphill battle. You know, I got stuck with the deployment zone for 3 of my models, where where they came in on the 3rd round of a 3-round mission on the opposite side of the board of the things that needed to get scored. That basically means a third of my forces were just completely useless because they couldn't even reach anything near the objectives. Has anybody else played it yet? Or is anybody else even considering playing it? I know Jay Crot's going to be having it available soon. He's working on his own team piece. You know, I had to explain to somebody today that none of the boxes for Warcry actually contain 1,000 points. I don't think there's a single one that does. There might be some that are closer than others. They usually range from like 8 something, like 870 to like 970. Pretty close to 1,000, but it's still not 1,000. I was kind of happy today because I ordered a steak and cheese for lunch from a place right around the corner. It's like a Greek pizzeria. And like any Greek restaurant I've ever been to, like a Greek diner or Greek pizza place, it has like a gigantic menu. Why do Greek restaurants always have like huge menus? Anyway, their food has always been pretty decent, right? But I hated kind of going over there after a while because the lady who used to run it, she used to like be the lady at the register when you'd go in. She'd take calls when you called. She freaking hates people. Like, it's like the worst thing to deal with. Like, oh my god, I don't want to talk to this lady. She hates her job. She hates taking orders. She's like so nasty. Well, she wasn't there today, so I, like, against all good sense, I decided to call there anyway, just for convenience sake. I was like, whatever, I'll do it. I'll put up with this lady. And then I called over there, and the person who picked up the phone and answered sounded like her, but sounded really pleasant and nice, and I was like, oh, maybe she's having a nice day. Then I went over there, and it wasn't her at all, which totally made sense. I think it was somebody covering for her, though, but I don't know. But it might be a nice change if that lady's not really going to be there all the time anymore, because I'd actually eat there again. Just don't want to have to deal with that person. there were two people there. They were both pretty young. When the girl rang up my sandwich, she had to look at the menu that she had taped to the right next to the register to figure out how much it was supposed to cost. So she's clearly pretty new. I mean, I kind of stopped going there almost a year ago. Or maybe more than a year ago. What's your favorite sandwich shop? That's gotta be something almost everybody has, no matter what country you're from. There's gotta be some sort of like... something like a sandwich shop that you have an occasions gone to when you were hungry, needed a quick bite, something that was pretty decent. Either now or at some point in your past. What was your favorite sandwich shop? There was a place, so I used to live in the North End in Boston, and the North End was the Italian district, the Italian neighborhood, and it's also a place with a lot of really nice restaurants. So there's a lot of really nice Italian restaurants, kind of fine dining, kind of night out kind of place in the North End in Boston. And I used to live there, and it was really, really fun. And there were some more informal eateries, but right around the corner from me were two. One was a 24-hour bakery. Didn't have the best baked goods, you know, it wasn't as good as Mike's or Modern or anything like that, but it was decent. It was called Bova's, and it was open 24 hours. So like at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're stumbling home, you could go walk into Bova's and get yourself a cannoli or something. But right across the street, I can't remember the name of it anymore. Lupo's or something. There was a little sandwich shop. It was so good, and they had regular food too, but it was a lot more like takeout, informal compared to most of the other joints in the neighborhood. And it was fantastic. It was really, really good. Like, their chicken parm was amazing. Eggplant. Even just their Italian sandwich, just like Italian cold cuts, you know, typical Italian, was amazingly good. It was all quality meats and stuff, and especially being in a very heavy Italian neighborhood, you know, they had access to really good stuff, so... Oregon, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Oregon? Oregon was the name of the place and it was in Brazil? Cool. Good place to get a sandwich? What was your favorite sandwich to get from there? Nice. Didn't you live in Miami at one point? I'd imagine there had to have been a lot of good, like, places to get a Cubano sandwich in Miami. Cubano. What was 30 years? You didn't live in Miami for 30 years. You're not even old enough to live in Miami for 30. You didn't leave Brazil until you were like 17 or something, right? I spent so much money partying in Miami that made me hate the place. Oh, really? Yeah, Miami seems like a place to party if you're into that. I don't know, I have this mental picture based on, like, the media of what Miami is like. I don't really know, I've never been. It's hot, there's a lot of old people. I guess that's really what all of Florida's like. Hot and filled with old people. Alright, we might get through one of these and start another one, which is not bad. I've been working on this one for an hour. Hopefully we can get mostly done with this. At least have it well underway. I didn't want to spend more than like an hour and 40 minutes each. We spent a lot more than that on the first one, but that was like a getting to know you model. Getting to know you. It's all about you. Getting to like you. Getting to know you're like me. Ooh, my back hurts today. I still have never gotten a footrest. When I was sleeping, my back felt fine, which was pretty good. Now I'm sitting in this chair, it's not feeling that great, but I also need to, I'm going to readjust the arm things on this. I'm going to push them forward even more so I can lean the back rest even a little bit further forward. Alright, I'm gonna take a stretchy break and a water break. We're at about the 1 hour mark. And we're gonna start putting in some other colors on this. I don't know where I'm gonna put the decals on this one. I think I'm tempted to put them on the arms, on the shoulders, maybe one on the hip. I'm gonna be a bad host and check my phone. Thursday Night Football is here. Oh, on Twitch. I forgot Thursday Night Football they show on Twitch. J-Card said it was on, that football was on, but I forgot he meant on Twitch. .44, yeah, it's been on for 20 minutes. I forgot they started that. They started doing that last year. It was actually pretty good. Thursday Night Football, the, like, redheaded stepchild of football broadcasts. Toastier Quill 13, thank you. Hi, how you doing? Welcome, Mixer friend. I'm just taking a very quick break. Wah. Thank you for the follow, Toastier Quill. Toastier Quill 13, that also sounds like that could be one of those default Microsoft names. I forget what mine is. It's like Warrior Ash 78 or something. Or is that your chosen name? You're like, I'm Toastier Quill. We had one person come in one time that was, I'm trying to remember the name now, because we made this whole thing out of it. It was something garlic. We thought it sounded like an anime, and we were talking about what it would be. Oh, I can't think of what it is now. So it was something garlic. And we were like, oh, it's the something garlic star. Oh, it was garlic something. We thought it had a very, like, Naruto-esque, like, sound to it. I'm a little sad I can't remember what it was. I'm Steve of Houndstooth Miniature Painting, for anyone who does not know, and I am painting a Battletech miniatures tonight. For shits and giggles. No, really, it's actually a commission. Oh, thank you for the host. I'm trying to get something going on Mixer. It's hard. There's not a lot of other similar content. Trivia time! What's the most downloaded Beatles song? The answer will surprise you. Huh. Alright, well here's my thought. The most downloaded Beatles song is probably something that was referenced somewhere else, like that was in a soundtrack or something. It's not necessarily the most popular Beatles song, it was like in a movie like Forrest Gump or something, and for that reason it is the most downloaded. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and it's definitely something that I wouldn't say is like the most popular Beatles song or what I would expect to be the #1 most downloaded Beatles song. I'm gonna say Help. I'm gonna say Help is the #1 most downloaded Beatles song. That is my guess. Final answer. I'm on the right track. Hard Day's Night? I do feel like it's definitely older Beatles and not something super new. I mean, I think the obvious answer would be something like Hey Jude, but I don't think it is. It was in a movie. Well, any more hint than that? Because aren't there a lot of Beatles songs in a lot of movies? Oh, how about, what was that one that was in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band? Well, all of them, but never mind. I don't know. What is the... No and no. What is... I don't know. What is the most downloaded Beatles song? Who else? Anybody else have any ideas? Anybody else want to jump in on this? Let's go back to this one. And some non-brown. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. I was gonna say, Come Together. Come together right now. Over me. It was in that Sgt. Pepper's movie? You mean the one with the Bee Gees? I don't know. Not much for Beatles trivia. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. Help me get my feet right on the ground. I don't even know all the songs off Sgt. Pepper's. Shit. Yes, the Bee Gees movie. That movie is crazy. Have you ever tried to watch that movie? It is ridiculous. Alright, what do you think? You think I should make this middle part also metallic? Or is that going too far? This middle segment. That Bee Gees movie is bonkers. Abbey Road? Abbey Road is the #1 most... I don't even think I know the song. I know there's an album. Oh, it's off that album, Abbey Road? It's not Sgt. Pepper's? Oh, right. Yes, that Bee Gees movie. Right, because that Bee Gees movie, even though it was called Sgt. Pepper's, wasn't just songs off Sgt. Pepper's. Got it. What a weird-ass thing that was. Who was the guy who actually played Sgt. Pepper? Billy Preston or something? That movie is a trip. I remember the first time I saw that and was like, what in the hell am I watching here? Who greenlit this? Like, who thought it was okay to have the Bee Gees do a Beatles movie? And I suppose the Bee Gees were very popular at the time, but it seems like sacrilegious. It was the only thing on HBO when I was a kid. Yeah, that's funny that you say that, because when I was... I mean, I don't remember that being on HBO when I was a kid. I'm a few years younger than you, but I do remember that HBO only had, like, so many movies, right? And all those channels. I also remember that, in general, like, one of the most played movies when I was a kid, it was on every channel. Like, it was even on the regular syndicated channels, was that movie Beastmaster with Mark Singer. Remember that movie, Beastmaster? You know, the reason I've seen that movie like 1,700 times is because there were so many times it was like the only movie on television. I'm trying to think of all the other things that used to be on HBO like so often. And for different eras too. I remember there was a period of time, like, the thing is, even now, if you go on... Oh man, speaking of HBO, just yesterday, I went on HBO Go, and I watched an HBO TV movie from 1991. I'm like, what? And it was one of the best things I've seen in a long time, and there was a sequel, but it's not on HBO Go, and I'm like, oh my god, I want the sequel so bad. The sequel had Dennis Hopper, but anyway, there was a 1991 HBO movie called Cast a Deadly Spell. And holy shit, it really is something that people would enjoy now, even if maybe in 1991 people didn't enjoy it that much. It was a alternate universe hard-boiled detective story starring a Fred Ward as a PI named H. Philip Lovecraft, and he's trying to find the Necronomicon. It's an awesome movie, and it stars a really young Julianne Moore. Like a 30-year-old Julianne Moore. I'm trying to think of all the other things that were like... Well, what are those other movies that were constantly on HBO? Oh, there was the John Candy movie, The Great Outdoors. That was another one that used to be on all the effing time in the 90s. Like, in the 90s, you turn on any of those channels. Oh, The Great Outdoors is on. Like, you can find The Great Outdoors on at least once every 24 hours if you had cable. I mean, it's a pretty good movie. Can't argue with that. What was the name of the John Candy movie where he had to sail? You know what I'm talking about? Where he wound up doing like the race, and he had the like boat captain. He had like the piratey captainy guy with him, and what was that movie? I'm sure Jacob remembers. Maybe Cranky Old Nerd remembers too if he's still around. What was that one called? Was that Summer Rental? I don't recall myself. I think it was. I think it was Summer Rental. I can't think of all the John Candy movies. Also, as a 90s kid, as both an 80s and 90s kid, I mean, I was a small child in the 80s and a teenager in the 90s. I remember... Does anybody remember Camp Candy? Like the weirdest... Like, where did they get their ideas for children's cartoons back then? They were like, hey, why don't we have a Howie Mandel cartoon, or like a John Candy cartoon? I mean, I guess it's not that dissimilar from now, where... Like, I have a friend who pitches ideas for kids' cartoons, and, you know, he's 40, and, like, it's based on things that he finds interesting, and I guess that's probably the way it always was, but, like, who was like, hey, we need a Kid Louie Anderson cartoon, won't this be great? Kids are gonna love it. Like, what? What small child was like, hey, I want to watch a cartoon about Louie Anderson? Like, what were people thinking? What dope was people smoking?
Switches on, powered up. Don't forget that you're the reason I'm alive. I'm the one you designed.
Bueller.
I just want to
So how about that Ukraine situation?
Where am I? Ghost in the machine, waiting on a demon to make me more than you design. My thoughts keep racing, I'm running out of patience. Is it my desire? Am I losing my mind? I just want you to like me, 'cause we are nothing but air.
Here comes the sun. Oh, okay. Interesting. There, finally the answer. I'd almost forgotten about the question. Here comes the sun. That makes sense. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling. They sang that song in a show I watched recently. In the first episode, it's a pretty good show. It's a pretty good show. So much to my surprise, because I watched the first episode a while back on TV, and I was like, "Yeah, this looks dumb." There's a show called Nosferatu on AMC, and it's based on a book by Joe Hill. Joe Hill is Stephen King and Tabitha King's son. He's a writer himself, and he's written a couple cool books and stuff. Yeah, Nosferatu the show is really quite good. I'm really enjoying it. I hope it gets a second season. Well, I don't know. I hope they finish the story. That's all. I mean, if it doesn't get a second season, at least I hope they finish the story. It's really cool. But I remember they sang that song in the first episode. Like, they go to a big beach party. The dad busts out a guitar and he starts playing that song. There's an interesting whole family dynamic in that show that's really interesting. That's a really interesting and nice depiction of family dynamics, because it's about a teenage girl who discovers she has sort of supernatural powers, but initially she's just trying to get along with her mom and her dad, and she's a senior and she's going to be applying to colleges and blah blah blah. But her dad's an alcoholic, and her dad kind of beats her mom, and it's not super cut and dry. Like, she loves her dad, but she realizes dad's kind of an asshole. And as the show like progresses, she has to deal more with understanding how dick her dad really is, even though she's kind of worshipped him for a long time. I think that's really hard in families. I mean, some families don't have to deal with that shit, but in some families you have to deal with. At some point, when you come of age, you realize that your parents maybe not as great as you thought they were, you know? And you also have to struggle with maybe maintaining a relationship with members of your family, but not getting dragged down by it. So I don't know, it's been a pretty interesting show. I mean, that's not the main focus of the show, but it's definitely a very major set of sort of plots and issues for the main character. They just unveiled a new Creep show today on Shudder, which is an AMC platform, and I watched the first episode. It's 2 short stories in 40 minutes, and it's okay. It's pretty run-of-the-mill, but it's like a horror anthology. The first episode was based on... I am a Democrat that voted for Trump last time. I usually vote for Democrats, but the Dems better be careful going after Trump with this one. They're going to ruin their chance to get rid of him the old-fashioned way. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I agree with you. I think they're not on super dangerous ground. I mean, they could have been very easily. Luckily, I think that they were kind of waiting for something major enough that they could use, and I do think that this might. And this is to me a pretty cut. I mean, it's a big Rorschach test. This is why I bring this up. This it's a big Rorschach test. You know, people are gonna see what they want to see in it. You know, the Ukraine thing, but to me it was a pretty obvious abuse of power. So pretty interesting. You know how it's gonna shake out. I mean, I never thought. You know what? You know what? Let's talk it. I'm tired of politics for entertainment's sake. Well, yeah, that's true too. I could see that. Dark Lord. I think. What's I gonna say? Oh, I think the biggest boost that Trump could ever get for re-election is having Biden be his opponent. I think Biden is such a ridiculous human being. He might as well be running against Hillary Clinton again. I mean, listen, the Democrats could have beaten him in 2016. They just didn't have their shit together. And based on what's happening now, it doesn't look like they're doing any better. So, seriously, Biden? How's this guy the front runner? Yeah, I definitely don't consider myself a Democrat, but I do tend to lean towards, kind of have a pecking order. More libertarian than Democrat. I have a little bit of conservative streak based on my libertarianism, but it only goes so far. I was kind of a never Hillary person, so... But I wouldn't vote for Trump either, so I wound up voting for a third party. Periscopes. I need periscopes. Lizzie Warren is ahead of Biden in polls. It depends on which polls you're looking at. It's been pretty close lately, hasn't it? I'm not a big fan. I'm from Massachusetts. It's funny, like, I'm from Mass, but there's so many Massachusetts politicians, and I don't care for too many of them. The only one I actually really like is Bill Weld. But as you remember, Mitt Romney was a Massachusetts governor. What's his face? Deval Patrick was thinking about running for president for a while, I think. But there have been plenty of sort of, and now Elizabeth Warren's a Massachusetts state senator. From greatest state, so says every masshole ever. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, you know, Massachusetts is the greatest state. That part is true. It's funny, you've rubbed off on me. It's even showing up in other projects, Jake Rod. How is it that I'm using periscopes on this? Periscopes is clearly not the best color choice. I blame you. It's actually not a bad color choice at all, but... I can't imagine Elizabeth Warren could beat anybody. The best color ever. You're not wrong. What do you want me to work on for you next, J. Crod? You want to do the big dude? The Colossal? Yeah, we gotta do the Colossal. You already put a deposit on that, too. I don't know if you had anything else that you wanted to sneak in. Little darling. Here Comes the Sun. That makes sense. I didn't even think of that one. That's the other thing. There's just so many Beatles songs. It's hard to even keep them all in my head all at once. Still a little more to go.
It was a rainy night, around 5 years ago. Met you down the street, you were walking all alone. Knew we're unstoppable, it was magical. That in this town I can't find someone just like you. I said I don't wanna hurt you, babe. I don't want you to leave me now. Just give me one shot to be the one, and I promise I won't let you down.
Mama Smiley 21. Thank you for the host. The hosts from like random people. Pretty cool. Don't forget, if you're a patron, go in and edit your pledges. Don't forget, you've only got a couple of days to do it. I made sure I made my changes before the 1st.
You influence my frame of mind. My heart is stuck in a loop of
Alright, I think
and right.
just need to do a little cleanup, I think.
Try to replace you with something new. Whilst my body tries heartbreak along the ground. Dancing about the idea of you. Whilst you decide if I belong to lost and found. You know I'm dying to reach out to you. I'm trying but you can't see. 'Cause say my calls never come through. Why can't you just hear me? I'm crying 'cause I can't feel you. My heart's sinking to my feet. I'm lying 'cause I can't tell.
Thank you for the host, I appreciate that.
Why can't you just hear me?
So I decided to not push myself to talk as much. I know that one of the things that drives growth is that, you know, the streamer is constantly talking and blah blah blah, and you know what? It's fucking exhausting. And there's a degree to which it just can sometimes, if I'm just talking for the sake of talking, and no one's talking back, like, it just makes it not fun. So yeah, you're gonna hear me be super silent more of the time, and I'm okay with that. And I'm not really trying to hit growth numbers or viewers. I give no shits anymore about any of that. So yeah, that's the deal. But if I'm being really quiet, it doesn't mean I don't want to talk. It's just that nobody else is talking, so I'm just gonna stay kind of quiet. But feel free to speak up about anything. I'd rather be talking, as long as I'm not just flapping my gums for the sake of doing so.
Somebody that's not you. Must I hide the pain that sits before my eyes? Dreaming about the idea of you. Whilst you decide if I fall or if I fly. You know I'm dying to reach out to you. I'm trying but you you just hear me? I'm crying 'cause I can't feel you. My heart's sinking to my feet. I'm lying 'cause I can't touch you. Why can't you just hear me?
Okay. I'm gonna call that one mostly done. That leaves us these two. Not too far back. So we're gonna start work on another one. Let me get up and grab one. They're on a separate table.
You know I'm dying to reach out to you. I'm trying but you can't see.
I think it's time. It's only been half an hour. It's almost time for another stretch break. So you know what? Let's just do it. I need a stretch break. Oh, stretchy time. Get that back rolled out. Kind of arch. Oh, kind of bring my shoulders back too.
I'm lying 'cause I can't touch you.
Some shoulder crunches. Blah 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 blah.
Just hear
Any part of my upper body moving again. Okay. Brown liner. Where are ya? Where'd it go? Let's see. It was here. I used it a little while ago. Oh, here it is. I think I'm gonna shave. I'm done with this beard. I'm not sure. Not sure how I feel about these. I guess I just don't know what Battletech minis are supposed to look like in general, whether they look any good or not. Like, I feel like I've done okay with them, but I'm not like ultra impressed with them. I'm not sure I'm supposed to be. They're board game plastic minis and they are just being painted to sort of a tabletop standard. Alright, here we go. Next one. But I do feel like the general principles I'm using here are pretty sound. You know, trying to make things pop at such a small scale does require some heavy value contrast, which is why we're kind of going heavy-handed on the black lining and edge highlighting. Other thing that we need here is like a lot of self-shading, because it's supposed to be a really big object, so that's why we have the darker color on the side panels and on the undersides and stuff like that. Brush Ninja. Do find with the liner I have to kind of reload more often. That makes sense given that it's how small the belly is on a brush like this. It's long, but it's not very wide. It does mean I do reload more frequently. This is certainly more chill. I'm not sure if this is any more fun. I feel less stressed, but I'm also a little bored. Oops. Let's get some of the gray anyway. Severe lack of Little John Clayman will take any stream down. Yeah, well, that's the trade-off, man. I can't play that stuff because of the copyright issues. That's the thing now, except for Fridays, and I don't know what we're going to do with Fridays going forward, but, you know, instead of looking up VODs on Twitch, if you need to look something up, you can always go to YouTube. YouTube's a much better video platform anyway. That's only as long as I'm still staying basically copyright free. So I did a little digging yesterday. I have never used Tabletop Simulator. I don't own it. I'm thinking about buying it soon. One of the things that has come up is that I'm really interested in playing Arkham Horror, the card game, on stream. Or just playing it, period. I just want people to play with. I mean, that's the bottom line. I don't care who I play with, as long as I play with that game. Like, with somebody. I mean, I'll even play it by myself, but I want to play that game, I want to play it with other people. So I think really the key is probably going to be playing it on Tabletop Simulator. I found a mod that looks pretty good that has all the content up through last summer, which is a lot of content. So even though we won't have all the new sets from the past year, we don't need it. There's still a lot of content in the game. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to look into setting that up because I really wanted to play the actual physical card game and maybe play that online, but that is going to take a lot more work and be maybe not as effective because you have to have hidden cards in that game. Like, you have to not be able to see everybody else's stuff. Hey, what's up, Skull Crusher? Guys, if you are not aware, my buddy Skull Crusher has been streaming during the day again. He's back. Been back for a few weeks. He is an awesome streamer. He streams most days in the afternoon. It's been mostly me and him and a few other wanderers, Vanny and Chris and some other people stopping in, but there have not been that many people in, which is pretty surprising because Scullo's a pretty good dude. He's a very good dude, and he's a great painter and sculptor. So if you haven't followed Skull Crusher yet, I do highly recommend it. Mostly you can keep us both company during the day when we're like hanging out with each other and nobody else. We're both like, where all the people be at? He doesn't say it, I say it. I'm like, what the hell, man? There should be more people hanging out in here. Now, some of you are not available to watch Twitch streams during the day, I understand. But for those of you that are, Skull to the O to the Crusher. Skull O Crusher. Heard it here. What's up, Scullo? He was painting a absolutely creeptastical cat mask today. How are the Titans? Oh, don't ask me about the fucking Titans. They're fine. I primed a bunch of things today. When I say a bunch of things, I mean like 100 armor panels. For the first mini page, oh really? Well, guess who's back? Back again. Scullo's back. Tell your friends. How are you finding the Battletech minis to paint? Fun? I'm having a little bit more fun than usual, if only because I'm doing something very different. I also don't have any experience with Battletech minis, so I don't have any preconceived notions of like, oh, here's how everybody else does it, here's how it's supposed to be done. Nobody's breathing down my neck saying, oh, what are you doing? You should do it this way, which is kind of nice. So it's a little bit more fun. That's why I'm trying to do it. That's why I'm doing it on stream. There's a million other projects I'm gonna be painting tonight. But I chose this one because it's a little bit more fun for me. How are you doing, Cookamandius? It was my first time. I panicked. What? He signed your name? That's amazing. That's so crazy. Dude, well done, Skullo Crusher. That is a panic move. That's like the quintessential panic move. That's glorious. Dude, it's kind of cool. Like, look, it's got my name on it, but I didn't even write it. Somebody else wrote my name. What's wrong with that? Oh, I'm off cam again, aren't I? I think this thing keeps slipping. Yeah. Whew. You should, Kikamandius. You should build and paint something. These are nice because I didn't have to build them too. They're one-piece plastic models. Board game quality plastic models. I dig some of this music, by the way. This one, I like this song. Got a nice chill vibe. You winning that and starting to paint is one of my favorite moments on Twitch. Dude, that's awesome. Dude, that's amazing. Oh god. No. How long ago was that? Like a year and a half? 2 years ago? Alright, we're getting almost done with this dark brown lining. Almost. Alright. Next, I'm gonna gray out some areas. Ooh, about a month before the paint along, so December, January. Okay. Coming up on 2 years, yeah. In the non-distant future. I'm sorry, I was kind of fuzzy out of focus. Let's come back up and do here. One of the nice things about this particular color scheme is the limited palette. I think I'm gonna be moving a lot more towards limited palette. Okie doke, I better go make sure they didn't get into any trouble. Have a great stream. Alright, take care, Skull Crusher. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Damn, am I out of focus again? Yeah. I'm super fucking bad. Worst streamer ever. $9:40 on a Thursday. Do you know where your children are at? This was a public service announcement from Houndstooth Miniature Painting. Yeah, Skull is a really good dude. Don't forget to check out his channel, especially if you have a little free time in the afternoon. Early evening East Coast time. Hey! What's up, Delaney? How you doing? How was your stream? I seen the area where I missed some dark lining. How is everybody? Welcome in, everyone. Thanks for stopping in. I'm Steve of Houndstooth Miniature Painting. Thank you so much for that raid. I hope your stream was wonderful. Good, ended early because I flat coated everything and now, oh, I have to wait for it to dry, yep. That's cool. It's cool that you got to the point that you can do that though. That means that you must be approaching completion. I guess, unless there's another reason you flat coated everything. Which is possible. Just gotta package it all up tomorrow after pictures and then send it off. Very cool. What is it that you were working on? What is it we're talking about? So that I may visualize it in my brain memory, in my head movies. The 76. Oh shit! Okay, that's a lot. Yeah. Alright, wasn't sure if it was something else. 76 Malifaux minis. Nice. You have mentioned these Malifaux minis before. Has that been your only project for 6 months? I would lose my mind. I'm sure you've damn near lost yours. The fact that the number is 70, I don't know why, like, is it American Patriot thing? For some reason the number is 76 appeals to me. I've had breaks in between and do games on Friday, so I have my breaks. Plus, I dealt with some burnout this year, so there was a month I didn't do anything. Okay, yeah. I had some burnout in, I mean, it's hard to even call it burnout. I had a little bit of a painting issue in August on my big project right now. It wasn't even really painting burnout, it was frustration with that project. That put me behind, and so I'm still behind, and that project's not done. Still working on it. That's the 25 Imperial Knights models I'm working on. But, I'm burning out really hardcore on streaming. I'm going down to 2 days a week. And changing up my format and just not doing certain things and not accepting certain things. Just to try to see if I can get out of this streaming burnout. Burnout's real. I mean, there's so many different forms of burnout. You can be burned out on a lot of different things. But I am currently burning out really hard on streaming. But going forward, you'll only catch me on Thursdays and Fridays. Mixing Mondays and Tuesdays. And Saturdays. And extra streams. I used to do a lot of extra streams too. I was like, oh, I'm free, I'll stream in the morning. But I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm focused on getting my commissions done faster. Take a week off. By like day 4 of when I do the week off, I end up itching to stream. But you gotta stop yourself. Yeah. I don't know. I had a plan to get out into the woods for a while, but I am now not so sure that I really want to or can do it. I mean, the commission painting queue has gotten pretty full, and I'm just not sure I can really pull it off. I think I have to stick around. Skip another year. I was supposed to go out and do a little hiking last year. I didn't do it. That was a slightly different reason, but bottom line was I didn't get to go last year, so I wanted to go this year, but I don't know. Not really good time. Not really a good time. But you make a very good suggestion, and I will take that to heart. I have to take some time off. I mean, 2 days a week I think is going to help. You jumped on the Battletech Kickstarter. Nice, Cat. I'm going to have so many to paint. Is there another one? Is there one happening right now? Will you weather them much? I don't have a plan for basing them yet. I haven't broached that topic with the client. As far as weathering them, I mean, not much, because they're so small. Like, the problem was with this one, you can see I started to try to do some weathering on it, and it's so small at the scale that I even tried to do it. It just started to look like camo almost at a certain point. I had to glaze it back on the feet. It's just almost impossible to keep it small enough to make chips and stuff look decent. And what else is there really to do for weathering other than chips and battle damage at such a small scale, large object? I'm not. It's something I am incredibly not comfortable with at this point. Oh, Miss Lucky Ducky, thank you for the host. Whoa, I did not remember I set that alert, or maybe I didn't set that alert. Maybe it's a default. That is a weird sound. Thank you, Miss Lucky Ducky. I appreciate the host. Nice to get a little love on D Live. How's it going? I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing? Cleaned up this Battletech miniature. How have you been doing? What's been going on in your stream lately? Thanks for the host. Did you just finish up? What were you doing tonight? If that is correct. Well, I guess it must be. Yeah, of course you just... I'm asking a dumb question. That's a dumb question, since you just hosted with 4 viewers. Probably were just streaming. And what were you streaming? Big Turmoil for the first time. I've never even heard of Turmoil. What is it? Does anybody want to help me out here? Your ignorant streaming friend wants to know. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna do desert basing. He gave me a... Oh, you know what? Here, I'll show you the... This was the one that he sent me and was like, paint them like this! So, it's probably gonna be desert basing. It's a strategy game where you are an oil tycoon. Okay, cool. You dig for oil and try to sell it for the best prices. Oh, that sounds cool. Turmoil. Ah, interesting. That sounds like fun. I would try something like that. A friend recently just bought me on Steam Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics. Definitely of a mind to play those soon. I don't think I'm gonna wind up streaming them, but I'm in the right mindset pretty soon. I've been playing Diablo again, Diablo 3, and I've been enjoying it again after getting almost tired of it. But I've been kind of playing it almost solo now. That's how I've been finding it to be a little bit more fun. I mean, I don't know, I don't mind playing it with people, but at the same time, like, it's easy to get lost in the mix once you're at a high level. You want to play it there. I don't know. You gotta find, you gotta, like, play with somebody that is of an appropriate level to you. I was playing with my friends who were better geared at the time, and it was starting to be just a little frustrating. I love strategy games. You really have to multitask and make it easy for things to go bad. Oh, that sounds cool. The game that I've been playing the most over the past year, although I haven't been playing it that much lately, was I played a lot of the Air Billions, and that was really fun for me because it was like sort of an RTS mixed with like a nice Civ type strategy game. I don't know if you ever got a chance to see that one. I started playing the campaign mode. I really didn't like it very much, so I went back to trying to continue strategy mode or survival mode. Trying to unlock the last map type, but I'm having a really hard time beating the desert wasteland at above 110% or above 100%. That sounds really cool though. Oil Tycoon. I assume it's a pretty recent game. Yeah, it's a pretty fun game. It's a zombie game with a steampunk aesthetic. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It was in early release or early Steam early access for like a year and a half or something, for a pretty long time. And just this spring, it finally, or was it early summer? I want to say it was July-ish or so. It finally hit full release. Thanks so much for that, host. I don't know if, I'm sure you're aware, but it's been so hard to get anything going on DLive. I multi-stream to Twitch, DLive, Mixer, and YouTube. But a month ago I decided to get rid of my Twitch affiliate agreement and just multi-stream. I had been trying to stream to just DLive itself back in the spring. My first stream was amazing, and I had like 100... There was like 100 followers the first stream, something like that. It was like 30 viewers and like 100 follows, and then it got worse and worse. Like over the next 6 streams, I limped to 200 follows. And then I just got really kind of sad streaming by myself. So I like DLive as a platform, and I love the community, but I have to kind of multi-stream in order to have any sort of audience. As you may know, if you look at the DLive art category, generally, when I look like during the day, it's usually like 5 streamers with 7 viewers total. How's the multi-stream path going for you? For me, it's. Ravencat, how do you judge success? That's the question. How would you judge success of that? How would you judge failure? I don't have an answer to that. So I don't have an answer to your question. I tell you, I'm happy not being monetized on Twitch. I think with DLive's size, art streamers still struggle a bit. Yeah. It's not a whole lot of fun by itself. I don't know. I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. It didn't work the way I think I hoped it might work. Well, I'm not happy. Let's be entirely clear about that. I don't know. Oh, you don't know. You're not a member of my Patreon. So, yeah, we had a big thing happen this week. Basically, over the last week. Last week on Wednesday, I had kind of had a little bit of a meltdown because one of the things I was offering through Patreon was classes, like group lessons. And they hadn't been working. We had one person show up this month, basically, and everybody else just kind of, I don't know, I can't even justify what happened. But it just was not worth doing. And then I tried to adjust for that, and then, I've gone into full stream burnout mode. This is why you're also not a streamer. This is why I also am not going to be streaming more than 2 days a week anymore. I'm just burned out on streaming. It's just not, I'm not. Well, the thing is, for me, it's got to be fun, right? Streaming is fun. If streaming is not fun, then don't do it. And it's becoming a lot not fun. So I'm starting to move towards not doing it as much, just because why the hell am I doing so much streaming if I'm not enjoying it? Because it's certainly not for money. So. Although there's always been the potential there to like make money, that's why I kind of like played around with certain things. With like, I wonder if I throw this out there, what'll happen? Yeah. So the bottom line is, I'm not having that much fun streaming, and so I'm kind of stepping back a little bit. But it's not because of the multi-streaming. Well, after that first run on DLive in the spring, I came to the conclusion that I just couldn't be happy with Twitch's terms. And from there, multi-streaming made sense because I was like, I'm getting rid of the affiliate agreement. I just don't want to do this. And then getting rid of the affiliate agreement, it was the only thing that was preventing me from multi-streaming. So at that point, it was just like, let's just multi-stream. Let's just see what happens. The bottom line is, not much has changed. I mean, I've picked up, like, over the last month, I think I picked up, like, what, 15? Maybe 20? DLive followers. Picked up maybe, what, 60, 70 on Mixer. Still picking up a lot of followers at the same rate on Twitch. About 120 to 150 a month. Good night, J-Cod! I mean, I haven't blown up on either Mixer or DLive, you know, but I'm also growing an audience about at the same speed that I did when I first started on Twitch, so there's that, I guess. That's not too bad considering, like we were just saying, you know, there's not much of an audience for art on DLive yet. If there ever will be. I'm starting to wonder if that's going to ever happen. Mixer, maybe. DLive, I'm not so sure that we'll ever turn that corner. If you don't even know Mixer or DLive, well, they're both things. You should go check them out. Mixer is a Microsoft streaming platform. DLive is a small, scrappy startup that's looking to use blockchain for monetization. Well, I don't know how you don't know that they don't exist. I've been streaming to both of them for a month. I'm clearly not doing a good job telling you that they exist. Line. I'm not familiar with either of those. But, I mean, seems like an obvious thing that each country would have its own slightly different platform. Oh. Yeah, probably. Again, big thanks to Miss Lucky Ducky for the host. And if you are on DLive, please click over, give her a follow. Sounds like Turmoil's a blast. I'd check that game out. Why did you decide to start streaming on DLive? So, my friends, I don't know if you've ever heard of Rowdy Souls, but a year and a half or so ago on Twitch, I became pretty good friends with Marcus from Rowdy Souls, and I've been a big supporter of theirs when they were on Twitch. And in the spring, I got a message right when I came back from a trip to Chicago. I got a message from my friend Marcus, and he was like, "Hey, we're over on DLive, you should check it out." I was like, cool, I'll check it out. So I did, and that was when I signed up and started streaming on DLive. I don't know, for about 6 weeks. What I did at the time was I would stream on Wednesdays were a day that I didn't stream on Twitch. And I would stream on DLive on Wednesdays. Like I said, that first stream was really hot, but other than that, it became very dead very quickly. They're doing excellent. They're doing really well. They managed to get verified partner before they jumped the requirements. Because actually I could have done that too, but I wound up not doing it just because I kind of got disillusioned with the whole thing right at that time. I hit 200 followers, like, I don't remember when. I want to say late May or something. Early June. And I locked the Lino. I can't remember what the last thing was I might have been waiting for, if anything. Yeah, I did it because of a recommendation of a friend. If you haven't checked out Ratty Souls, you might want to check them out. They're pretty cool. I know they stream on Wednesdays usually, but they are a Newgrass band. And Marcus is actually doing some drum streams and stuff too, and they occasionally play some video games as well. Rowdy Souls. They're good friends of mine. They're super rad. Love them to pieces. The Chicagoland area Newgrass band. Nico Duga. Seems to be the closest thing to Twitch used here, but it looks like Japan doesn't have a service. Oh, web developer. Nomad0501, thank you for follow. But it looks like Japan doesn't have a service. If I were a web developer, I'd build a platform here. Oh, interesting. Have you applied for affiliate? I am an affiliate. I don't have subs activated, but yeah, I'm an affiliate. I actually applied for affiliate and they didn't answer me for forever. They actually they contacted me after I stopped streaming. They were like, hey, why did you stop streaming? What can we do to make you come back? So I actually, before I came back with the multi-stream, when I was waiting to hear back from Twitch to cancel affiliate, I contacted them and was like, hey, I've been waiting for like 6 weeks for affiliate to go through. Do you think you can make that happen? Because I'm thinking about coming back and multi-streaming over here. It happened like within 24 hours. They were like, yep, donezo. So I got affiliate that way. I mean, because I had the contact info of the guy who tried to recruit me back anyway. No, Matt, thank you for the follow. Oh, I bet you it is. But do you think I would be able to even stream over there? I don't really speak Japanese. I did once upon a time, actually. Much to anybody's surprise. But so I could learn it, because I took 3 semesters of Japanese in college, which does not mean I could actually ever speak Japanese well. It just means I had a first grader's understanding of Japanese at one point. Whispered you link for future reference. Thank you. That's my own bot. Don't read your own bot, Steve. How about you, Miss Lucky Duck? You're a partner, aren't you? I feel like I've seen that verified checkmark on you. I don't always host people because I actually don't usually have any viewers on DLive. It's usually like 1 or 2 people that'll hang out for a bit and then they leave, like right at the end of my stream. There's nobody to actually like sort of host over with. I actually never open the chest too, for the same reason. I totally could. I have to look and see what's even in it, if anything. Because I have so few viewers, it doesn't really accumulate much. Let me take a look. I haven't even looked in a while. I did open the chest one time. It had like 50 Lino in it. I put like another 100 in. Nice. Congrats, Miss Lucky Ducky. I almost forget about the chest. My chest currently has 7.4 Lino in it. I don't even think you can open it before it has like 30 or 40, right? But I can't keep track because they keep changing the chest rules. Changed the chest rules on me so many times. I know that viewers can't see the chest, how much is in the chest anymore, because people used to just like troll for chests. But I have 7.4 Lino in that chest. Yeah, when I first that first week when I streamed, like I wound up picking up like 5,000, not 5,000. Yeah, 5,000, like 5 or 6,000 lino. Like it was really hot. I assume it must have been like paid for. Somebody was paid to like come to my stream and make it look like it was going to be more active. It was kind of funny. There's no way that was all natural. The chest is fun. I mean, yeah, when I'm over at, I mean, it's so funny to me because, like I said, I came over here because of Ratty Souls. I came over to D-Live because of Ratty Souls, and they're doing so well, you know? Like, I still joke about it with Marcus from time to time, like, hey man, check it out, I had 2 viewers today. Record. He's like, I don't get it. Like, yeah man, it's just the difference between music and art. Like, if you look at the whole art category, it's never... the most I've seen lately is like 27 viewers. I think the other day, like one art streamer had like 17 viewers, so the whole category actually had like 27. I used to for a while, not anymore. My average has gone down, but I used to average about 45 on Twitch. But those were long gone gravy days. These days we're closer to about 25. Not that it matters, it really doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm having fun, and I don't know if I am or not. Fine. Battletech is more fun than half the stuff I've done recently. Windows are hard, that's one thing I've learned. Windows are hard. That'll work. Actually, I have a decent window. For how small it is, I mean, there's my thumb, and I actually have really small hands. Here, I actually have a reference. I have like a little measuring? Oh, that's a great word. I have a measuring device. Oh, here it is. So, that's like a, well, it's like a 2.5 millimeter window. It's pretty small. Hey, Greedy Raven, how are ya? That giant set of Titan thingies, yeah, it's still a slog. I'm not done with it yet. I'm moving through it, but it's still a lot to do. I'm working on it every day. Today I started pushing through all the red armor panels. The yellow armor panels are all yellowed. So now with the yellow armor panels, they have to be varnished, and then I can start doing trim. We'll get us pretty far. I mean, once the trim is done, that would mean that I can basically push onto decals, and then it's really just from there. It's really just a matter of weapons. I still have to even build some weapons. We got to deal with basing. I'm a little bit nervous about the whole basing situation because we're supposedly we're making custom bases, but I think it's gonna be a fucking shit show. We'll see. Oh, Dark Souls, nice. Oh shit, you're talking about the Dark Souls board game. I would rather be murdered than have to play that again. Deadzone knows. He won't even ask me to play it ever again because he knows how strongly I feel about it. I thought you were talking about Dark Souls, the video game. Why do I keep going so far off camera? Damn it. I played all the video games. I like the board game, or at least I did once I figured out the rules and found the FAQs. Oh, I don't know if I found the FAQs. I mean, the problem with mistakes is they should have written a reasonable rulebook. It is literally the worst rulebook I've ever encountered. It doesn't even have all the rules, is basically the problem. Doesn't make them clear at all. It actually contradicts itself all over the place. Like, it's hard to not believe that that isn't a rulebook that was like written in another language and then translated into another language and then translated from that to another language. If that rulebook was written in English, the people who wrote it should be murdered. I'm not calling for anybody's murder. No, nobody should be murdered. What I'm saying is they should be tried of a severe crime and given capital punishment. Exactly, yes. Lots of board games have pretty poor rulebooks, but that is easily the worst. Only other one I'd ever seen that was almost as bad was the old Tannhauser rulebook. When Fantasy Flight first started publishing it, that was a French board game / miniatures game, mostly a board game. Had miniatures. And it was a cool looking game, but the rules were kind of stupid. And part of it was probably translation issues. They actually fixed it, but I remember being at a con and they had the new rulebook and they were selling it, and I was like, God damn, you wanted me to pay $40 for the reprinted rulebook? I mean, I didn't even own the game. I was just curious because it was my friend who had it. It was funny. So that was the first time I'd ever seen as an adult a really nerdy game and was kind of into it. It was pretty early because it wasn't until a few years later that I got into playing board games myself. But I remember that first time, like I was hanging out. It was me. I was hanging out with two old college buddies, and one of them was like, "Hey, let's go stop over to the Complete Strategist." And me and the other guy were like, "What?" And we were all huge nerds, so I was just surprised that he said that. I was like, "Yeah, I want to go see what they got or whatever." And we went there and they had Tannhauser. He's like, "Oh, I've heard of this game. I still want to get it." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he bought it, and the game was like, I don't know, like $60 or $80 or something. And I, at the time, was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy! You spent $80 on a board game." I mean, now that doesn't feel like anything, but I think it was $60. But anyway, I was like, really felt bad. And he didn't, by the second or third day, he didn't even like it. But it was a long weekend. Me and my other friend, we played it over and over again. We just kept busting it out on his kitchen table. And we're like, playing Tannhauser again. We enjoyed it. Funny thing is, years later, me and that other dude would wind up playing a whole bunch of games. I used to go over to his house and play Eldritch Horror on the regular. Well, I used to invite him over to my place and we'd play all sorts of other things. We played Shadows of Brimstone and Dominion and other things. I taught him to play a whole bunch of other games. But I do remember Tannhauser was that first one that I was exposed to. I remember that weekend too, because I remember John trying to explain to us about Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines. And me being like, "What the hell are you talking about, dude?" He was very excited about it. I think that was the main reason he wanted to go to the store, because he was looking for Warhammer stuff. I remember he was taking a shower, and I was trying to just keep myself entertained, you know, like you're at your friend's house, and what the hell am I supposed to do? It was like before Netflix or anything, so I was like, I don't know. So he was like, "Oh, try reading one of these." Like he had a Gaunt's Ghost book. He had this book that had like it was a collected edition that had all these Gaunt's Ghost stories in it. I remember trying to read it, and I was like, "What the hell is this stupid nonsense?" I hated it. I actually hated it because the writing was terrible. But funny now because like now I have a lot more Warhammer in my life than I did back then. But I remember that first time trying to read Gaunt's Ghost, going, "What the hell is this? The writing is just so bad." I realize now that like how bad most of that writing must be, but people just like look the other way because it's set in that universe. I feel like if you have the ability to decipher terrible books, you end up enjoying games more than other people do, but I don't think you should ever have to decipher books. Yeah, I know what you mean. The frustrating thing for me is like when there's no answer. That's really the problem I have with the Dark Souls rulebook. Alright, listen, if you put all the rules in a terrible order, or you word them poorly, where one instance where you write it put something in doubt, but then other areas where you read it on other pages make it all make sense. The problem with the Dark Souls rulebook is that you bang your head against it trying to make sense out of it, and you just can't. There isn't enough information there to make it work. Maybe the FAQs do. I'm not sure that this is really a fully written game anywhere. I don't know if the FAQs clarify it significantly. But the problem with the main rulebook is just that even with its bad ordering and all of its other problems, you can't actually find everything. It's not there to be found. It's just stuff that's not clear and not specified, you know? Yeah, I don't know if I knew that or not. I think I might have, but I don't know. Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't tried to fix it. I mean, I guess, is that what the FAQ does? Does the FAQ significantly fix it? I'm just surprised they haven't really addressed it. Because it's a pretty... I'd say pretty universal finding. You know, well, everybody I've talked to that's played it has said the same thing. It's like, game's kind of cool, maybe, but the rules are terrible, and I'm not sure that the game is any good because I'm not sure we're playing it the way we're supposed to play it, because I can't tell because the rules don't tell me. TMM, yeah. The models are okay. I painted a few of them. The quality's not quite there. The first game that I've really seen recently that has pretty decent quality board game minis, board game plastic, you know, lower quality vinyl minis, but actually done pretty well, is Hate, which was a cool mini or not Kickstarter game that, because of its content, they said they would never sell at retail. Weird. I have a guy that trying to commission me to do Hate, but he doesn't appear to own the models, and I was trying to explain to him, I was like, you're gonna have to like buy these on the secondary market because you can't buy these from the company anymore. It was a Kickstarter only thing. He kept trying to get me to buy them. He was like, why don't you just buy them and then I'll just pay for them? Like, because it's not on the market. Because it's not for sale. And I'm not going to deal with eBay. What are we at? Wow, we're still under 3 hours and I've gotten almost 2 minis long. This is actually not bad. It's about right, because I still have to do decals and basing, so I don't want to spend my full time budget on these. Plus, I already spent some time on them, airbrushing them and priming them, so spend about an hour a piece at this point. That's probably about right. About 3 hours. I was just about to say, I think I'm just about finished my second mini. Maybe now's a good time to quit, but we're being this productive. Maybe I can try to squeeze in a third one. The Rising Sun models, yeah, I've seen them. I think the only thing that frustrates me about the Rising Sun models is that they don't matter. I mean, that's the problem I have a little bit with a lot of the CMON games, is they're just tokens. They're not even, I mean, you'd be almost better off in a lot of those games if you just had little cardboard chit tokens rather than giant models. That game in particular, I feel like it doesn't really need it. It almost kind of takes away from it. It just, I think the reason I feel like it takes away from it, just makes it way more complicated to manage on the board and set up and tear down. It's like, all you needed was tokens for this game. I mean, I understand that sometimes having non-tokens really makes the game a lot more immersive, but Rising Sun, I feel like it's a little bit the opposite. Yeah, cubes, standees, anything. All right, I gotta take a quick break. Just gotta run to the restroom, and I will be right back. Oh, that'd be cool. All right, I'll be right back. Finished building a bunch of easy-to-build Stormcasts. And the rest of Escalation models. Alright, I'm gonna grab... Actually, I should have done this before I sat down. Grab another one of those models to start. Cool. Alright, take care. Have a good one, Raven Cat. Thanks so much for stopping by between classes. This one I wound up making a slightly different color because it glazes. I'll have to glaze the other ones to get to the same color. This one's got a little bit more brown to it. One on the right. Pretty close. But... it'll look a lot nicer with the decals. Alright, back to lining. We'll put another drop of this out. What have we got right now? Looks like we have a few people. One viewer on Mixer, I think that's me. One viewer on DLive, also potentially me. So one of the changes that I made recently, well, yesterday really, is I decided not to teach on stream anymore without being asked questions. So if I'm doing something and you're curious and you want to know, you have to ask. I'm not going to sit here and lecture, try to teach anybody anything. It's just not what I want to do. It's just not fun. Not fun, and people always try to make it less fun. And the more you try to tell people stuff, the more you get people that show up that like want to make themselves seem awesome by telling you you're wrong and telling people other shit that's wrong. I'm just not interested in that anymore. Yeah, with how much progress I've made on this, if I finish this one, I'll be halfway through. There's only 8 of these. Which means I might push through tomorrow and or Saturday to try to finish this so that I can actually collect some funds. Actually finish a job. This theoretically was behind the Raging Heroes models, but ahead of the Samurai models.
There's a misunderstanding as to why. It's not difficult because it is hard to sit in the cross-legged position.
Weird how the queue's been acting lately because people have been talking to me about projects, but then taking a really long time before they put commissions deposits down. And I go by the order of the deposit because I have to trust that it's not a real job until somebody puts money down. Because unfortunately, I get a lot of cases where people decide they want to do this big project and they talk to me about it, and then I'm like, okay, well, you know, we've been talking about this. Here's the parameters. Here's the contract, all the stuff. And they're like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get you the money tomorrow or whatever. And then it's like 6 weeks later, they're like, oh yeah, you know, something came up.
In the expert's mind, there are few.
You can never count on a commission until the deposit is in. That's, you know, if you are a person that paints minis and you want to take commissions seriously, I mean, this advice is pretty common, so you shouldn't be hearing this just from me, but don't ignore it, and that is make sure you take a deposit. I make sure I always take a 50% deposit because it's big enough to make sure that people don't flake. I've never had a client flake on me after we started. Like, I've never had somebody put down a deposit and flake. I do know it happens. You know, I've heard people complain about it in the past. I've never had it happen. Yet. Knock on wood. But I think that's one of the things with the 50% deposits. Like, you're already in. Why not just finish it out? It's like that's why it's 50%, not like 15%. Because it's easy to walk away from 15% and leave the painter, you know, with this model that they've put all this time in. They can't get paid for it. Tempting fate? Who's tempting fate? In which case? By not taking a deposit? Oh, Coyote. Oh, I'm tempting fate by saying I've never had it happen. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true. You're right. I don't believe in that kind of superstitiousness, but I know what you mean. Hey, BD, how are ya? How was your stream? You're working on Hellboy froggy things? Eventually somebody will flake. Hey, Coyote, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a good stream. Hellboy and a little bit of Guild Ball. Nice. And a bit of Guild Ball. Working on my third Battletech mini for the night. Kind of funny to me. I think it's just gotten used to it a little bit, but going much faster than I did that first one. That first one took me like 3 hours. The last two took me like an hour each so far. Not including, well, of painting, not including the prep, cleaning, priming, all that stuff. Actually, just painting. My budget on these is about an hour and 40 minutes total, including basing and varnishing and decals and everything. So I'm still going to be over. I have to decide whether I want to raise the rate, because he wants me to do a lot more. This was supposed to be the test batch. I don't think I'm going to get too much faster than where I'm at right now. We'll have to see. I think I'm under. I wasn't sure because I was like, oh, the models are pretty simple, and I might be. I don't know if I'm over or under pricing. Hey, we did discuss that too. I was like, listen, I've never painted Battletech before, so I have no idea where this is going to come in too low or too high, but we can discuss after the first batch. What were you working on in Guild Ball, for Guild Ball? So, Raven Cat was in here for a bit, but God, it's so quiet. I feel like I'm struggling so hard streaming. I might just go down to the 1 day a week. I might just go down to Fridays. Oh, football, nice. You watching the Thursday night football game? Yeah, I wish I was doing that actually. Is there any value doing the instant thing as we speak? Oh, okay, greed. Oh yeah, I did the little upside down in the ship pile one. It was fun. Wait, that's greed, right? or yeah, or was it Avarice? I can't remember who's who. But yeah. And I haven't kept up with the new sculpt, so I have no idea if there's something else new. But there was a little limited edition one where he was like upside down in a pile of dirt and/or shit. It was a weird thing when I painted it. I don't think my client actually liked what I did with it, in all honesty. He wasn't super vocal about it. I don't think he liked it. But the trick was that he gave me these cobblestone bases, and the model that I had was that little dude, and he was he's just feet up. He's been punted and he's like face down into something and his feet are up. The problem is the bases were cobblestone, so I had to build up enough something in order for him to be embedded in it so only his feet were sticking out, because it just didn't make sense to have this like cobblestone base with his feet sticking out of a tiny amount of dirt. It was like, where's the rest of his body? It's embedded in cobblestone. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, okay, you're right. There's two of them because, okay, never mind. So there are three of them because there was a limited edition one that this client had, and he didn't make me. I don't think he actually made me do the regular running one that I have, because I have my own copy of those. He just made me do the little ship pile one. I don't know if you could find it like anywhere referenced. It was I don't know when and where he got it. It was a limited edition thing. But yeah, I wound up building up a big pile of dirt, but definitely I made it look like shit. And he was embedded in that on top of the cobblestone base, and you know, it was the cobblestone base because it matched all the other bases. I'm not sure he dug it. Gave me a very flat reaction when I showed it to him. Right, just cobblestones, he'd be dead, right. Yeah, you've endorsed non-painting of eyes? I can't go there yet. I mean, there are definitely models where I think the eyes should not be painted because they're not meant to be painted the way you would normally paint them. But I still will kind of push towards doing eyes whenever I possibly can, just because for me, even if it's not necessarily realistic, eyes are just such a huge draw. I think being able to paint a decent face or a decent eye is literally like the first thing that most mini painters should learn, because it just, even if you can't do anything else well, if you can paint a decent face or eyes, you're gonna do okay. Like, you'll get away with everything else. $32mm or smaller, you wouldn't see eyes at the distance a human would appear that size. You know, that's true, but yeah, I still paint eyes on that scale. You wouldn't see a lot of things. I mean, listen, realism's not really what most of us are going for most of the time. I think you can use that argument to justify not painting them, but I think overall you're still better off painting them. It's my own personal opinion. Most of the time, it depends. I mean, you could say that, but also none of the models we paint are at like an actual anatomical scale anyway. Like, especially Guild Ball. Those are not what people look like, they're cartoons. They don't have, you know, that's not actual anatomy. Space Marines? Come on, you gotta be kidding me. The closest is some Malifaux figures. Some Malifaux figures are almost like real human proportions, but still barely. But of all the lines I know, it's one of the ones that's actually like closest to the regular proportions. That's true too. People paint eyes but not eyebrows all the time. I'm guilty of that sometimes. I do paint eyebrows, but not all the time. Not as often as I should. I generally do for regular human faces. I don't always for things like Space Marines. In part because making a Space Marine face look like a human face is almost like weird. Because the standard for Space Marine faces is not a human standard face, like if that makes any sense. Like, people have been painting them so bad for so long that that's what a Space Marine's supposed to look like now, if that makes any sense. And if you make it look like an actual person with like eyebrows and stuff, people act weird. They're like, oh, what is this? What did you do to this Space Marine? That makes sense. I mean, I don't agree with you, but I definitely think that eyes are worth painting, but I can understand your reasoning. It depends on the sculpt. Like anything big, like where they've got really, because that's the thing, they make the sockets really weird sizes and shapes, right? They make them over deep and sometimes overly wide. They're almost always over deep. Hey, Contradicted, how are you? Yeah, the mini I just painted is a tiny dude with such a huge head. Oh, right, yeah. You could make a decent case that he's got some form of dwarfism. I also think a lot of the old school minis, like Reaper minis and stuff, they make the eyes so huge on those minis that if you don't paint them, it can look weird. It also just depends on the overall style, but to each their own. What did I do there? It's not gonna matter in a minute. What is up with the music? I watched the first episode of the new Creepshow series on Shudder. It was okay. Nothing to write home about. Shudder's got a weird policy happening that I really don't like. And that is, they seem to only, like, they open up comments on the page for whatever content, which is really supposed to be reviews. It says reviews. And you can leave a comment, even though the thing isn't up to view yet, but only if you leave a 5-star review. If you leave a non-5-star review, it gets taken down. So people will post tons of 5-star reviews so that they can say stuff like, oh, I'm so excited for this to drop tomorrow, or whatever. So there's like hundreds of these 5-star reviews that are just people going, oh wow, this is going to be great, I can't wait to see it. So, I guess their policy is to not allow non-5-star reviews before it comes out. But they shouldn't allow 5-star reviews either. But it came out today. They posted one episode, but I guess people couldn't see it because for hours afterwards, people were like, I'm still waiting for this to drop. I'm like, I don't know, I just watched it 2 hours ago, so I'm not sure what your problem is. But I posted a 3-star review because it was pretty mediocre. And then I checked back, and it never got posted, probably because it wasn't a 5-star review. So they've got this weird thing going on where they're basically intentionally loading 5-star reviews up on on the content. I don't know if it's only for Shudder exclusive stuff or whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not like I look at the rating and go, oh, it's 4.5 stars. Like, it's user anyway, so I don't really pay too much attention to it. But it's just kind of bullshit, garbagey that they're doing that. Like, when they came up with that procedure and policy, they never figured that was kind of bogus. Yes! Oh, people painting the lower eyelid as part of the eyeball. Yeah, but generally, I think almost every sculpt that actually has a lower eyelid on it is one where you probably shouldn't paint the eye. I wouldn't say always. There are very few sculpts that I've seen that actually even have a lower eyelid. Most of them don't really have one sculpted. Usually, if they do, they have a big bulky upper eyelid and a big bulky lower eyelid, and you just don't. Those are the ones where I don't paint the eye. The eyeball. There's a lot of Space Marine ones like that. Or what I like to do sometimes is paint the eye first, because it's going to be kind of bulky, it's going to be like kind of wide, and then just clean up the top and the bottom. Until it's a really narrow slit, which you never probably would have been able to paint by itself because it's so narrow. You allow yourself to go out of the lines and then clean up. You can paint it, but otherwise it's just too constraining. Alright, good night, Coyote. Thank you so much for the raid. Thanks for stopping in and saying hello. Nice to have somebody to talk to. Hey, Complicated, hope you're doing well. Hanging in there. Went to a VR cafe and I'm nursing a headache from the headset pushing my glasses into my face. Oh, that sucks. Sometimes I get that at movies too, like I like to see a 3D movie. I've never gone to a VR cafe. There's cafes for everything now. Contradicted. Where I landed on that was that I think I'm gonna try Tabletop Simulator. I think that's really the only reasonable way to try to pull that off. I don't have it yet. I'm gonna buy it when I can. I was supposed to deliver something this week, and I had 2 jobs that were gonna book. None of those things happened, so I haven't taken in enough funds this week to really justify spending extra money on that stuff. Hopefully next week makes up for it. It's a great game. It's my favorite game. I love that game. What I've really come to a decision on this week is just that I really just want to play that game. I don't give a shit about any other games right now. Like, even Warcry. I'm enjoying Warcry, but like if I had to choose between playing Warcry and playing Arkham Horror, the card game, I want to play Arkham Horror, the card game. That's the game I miss the most. That's the game I have the most fun playing. There's still so much content I haven't seen, and then a lot of the content that I have seen is still very replayable. Plus, they're still putting out those return to the box set on a lot of stuff. So I don't know if you've seen those, but like there's a Return to the Night of the Zealot, there's a Return to Dunwich, and I think there's even now a Return to Path to Carcosa, which adds more content to that campaign so that you can replay it. Been meaning to get a copy of Return of the Night of the Zealot for the longest time. That one's been out for a long time. I tried to order it, then I guess the guy I was trying to order it from didn't have the minimum he needed to do an order, so he wound up never doing an order, so I wound up never getting it. Because things changed with Asmodea. Pretty much you can only get stuff from them now, and you can't get it through distribution anymore, so you have to be able to hit the minimum orders to be able to buy stuff. Or at least be able to buy it at a reasonable price and shipping and all that. You just got to Return to Dunwich. Cool. That was the only campaign we finished. I played that with a couple of people. 2 of them didn't really ever bother to learn the game all that well, but one thing that killed me was we almost lost that game based on 1 turn. And simply because one of the guys I was playing with he had this obsession, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. But he was playing, I think, it wasn't Skids. Oh, he was playing Jenny Barnes, right? And so he was playing a rogue class. And there's a card in the rogue class called Lone Wolf. And Lone Wolf means that if you start your turn in a space without another investigator, then you get a bonus resource. And the thing was, his entire build wasn't built around Lone Wolf or whatever, but he was just always like, I need to get this extra resource, like, why don't you move to this room and do this, and I'll come over here and do that, so I can be here and be alone again. It's like, yeah, because, well, no, don't do that, because it's not worth the resource for you to move to the other room and come back, or me not come in, or like, let's do it when it makes sense. Like, if you can be alone and get an extra resource, that's fantastic, but let's not throw the game. So, at the very end of the very last scenario of Dunwich, he wanted to, like, move so he could get Lone Wolf. And if he did, we told him, because we could even see it. It wasn't even, like, a question. We were like, if you move, we're not going to get to this space or whatever in time, and we're going to lose the scenario, and it's part 8. And I can almost guarantee that means we will have lost the campaign. We're not going to be able to do it again. It's just going to say you lose, all the investigators die. And we had to like desperately convince him for like 5 minutes to do what we asked him to do and not what he wanted to do. And when it all was said and done, we won because he did what we asked him to do. And if he hadn't, we would have lost. And I didn't play with him again after that. It's like, I still wanted to play, but, like, I found another group to play with. It's like, it's a co-op game. You get to make your own decisions, but, like, you gotta use a little bit of, like, common sense and, you know, keep in mind what's best for the group to a degree, especially if you know that it's going to tank the entire campaign just so you can use some ability on some stupid card that doesn't even matter. Ah. You're an extrovert who doesn't really like people? I don't even... How does that work? I would have thought you would say introvert who doesn't really like people. Is that what I am? Am I an extrovert who doesn't like people? I'm definitely a person who doesn't like people. That part is true. Yeah, it's such a great game. I've played it solo. I played it solo in Night of the Zelda or whatever. I don't think I've tried. I haven't tried a. Actually, maybe I did try one of the two Dungeon starters. I think I played the Clover Club one scenario, whatever it's called, solo. I might have tried that. I think I might have tried it solo just to try it using what's her face, Serafina Bacala or whatever. No, that's not her real name. The artist. Yeah, that doesn't make you an extrovert. That sounds like an introvert. Yeah, I just don't know why you said you were an extrovert, because you're not describing anything that sounds extroverted. Zero. Oh, okay. I don't know. You said it. Being facetious, well, that does not translate well in chat at all. Especially for somebody I don't know. Especially the other half of the statement being true. I believed you on not liking people. Didn't believe you on the extrovert part.
Together we can save the world. Together we are
Ah, we're doing okay. Oh, I started really late. Ah, I forgot about that. Started really late because I fell asleep right before I meant to start. So, half an hour less than usual right now. I'm at 3.5 hours on the stream, but I'm actually an hour past when I normally would have stopped because I started late. Ooh, that is terrible. Don't do that. Clean that up. Alright, I will no longer engage in this conversation. I don't understand it. Why does it have headlights? Whatever this is. This is weird. What happened with the football game? Anybody know? You know what? I think I'm gonna end the stream. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream here. Let's find somebody to raid. I'd rather be watching the football game. Well, I'm sure it's over by now. Should be over by now. I don't see anybody on. Wow, I don't have any mini painters painting minis. Let's do something else. Wow.
Too many nights locked up in this cell. Told me your love is good, but it burned like hell.
I don't even have other cool friends that I can rate right now. Very surprising.
Dreams of my future, that's what I surmise. Drowning out sounds of you, baby. Haven't been feeling myself.
Alright, I'm just gonna raid Looks like Nicholas is doing some sort of RPG something. That might be worth reading. Alright, let's do that. It's the slash. Alright, thanks guys. We'll be back tomorrow for a late stream.
I need to invest